You must walk the precise path that the Lord your God indicates for you, so that you will live, and so that things will go well for you, and so you will extend your time on the land that you will possess. This passage comes in the midst of the Israelites settling in what's become known as the Promised Land. And it's a reminder to them that God has brought them this far, and in order to continue in the experience that God is sharing with them, they need to follow God's ways. Now we hear that, and it sounds like as long as we do everything that God asks us to do, then life is going to be just a-okay, hunky-dory, whatever you might want to say. But the challenge is that walking in God's way, a way that leads to life, as we will sometimes say during baptism, doesn't mean that life is going to be without its problems. I mean, even Jesus tells us in the Gospel, in the New Testament, Jesus tells us that foxes have their dens and animals have the place to rest, but the Son of God, the human one, doesn't have a place to rest his head. He tells his disciples, take up your cross and follow me. Neither statement really suggests that following God's way is going to lead to this life that is carefree and easy. But what it does lead toward is a life that is full of purpose, full of meaning, that is kingdom focused. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about heaven. I'm not talking about heaven focused, but kingdom focused, kingdom of God on earth as it is in heaven. And so when we follow God's desire for us, we find ourselves living with more joy. Not that everything is perfect, but that everything is foundation related. Everything is on the foundation that God creates for us. And so my hope for you is that you'll ask yourself, am I walking in God's way? And not to measure that answer based on whether life is easy or not, but rather, am I loving God? Am I a loving neighbor? Am I loving self? Or, as I've always loved the way John Wesley talks about it, in the three rules: do no harm, do good, and stay in love with God. Are we doing those things? That is God's will, desire for our life. Are we doing those things? And if so, we are walking in God's paths. And in doing so, may we discover life and life abundant. Amen.